What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Tournament Tactics. It's NFL Week 10, and we're breaking down everything you need to know to crush big tournaments, Millie Maker style, on DraftKings for NFL Week 10. With me to break it down, as always, the Dream Team is here. We got Burns, the Millie Maker master, the Shark Lab himself, author of Winning the $1 Million Game, Secrets of the DraftKings Millie Maker. We got Josiah here, multi-time GPP winner. A lot of people say he's the looks of the show. They're probably right. That's fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
right,
then
yeah.
that's fair. And then, of course, Bobby Millions, aka Bobby 2 times. Got to get the millions. Get the millions. 2-time Millie Maker winner. We're breaking it down.
You gonna pop that intro or what?
Oh, that's right.
DJ, hit the music.
Lord
have mercy.
I blame the editor. All right, hold up. All right, we'll do the intro. Let's go.
Welcome to Tournament Tactics. Yeah, where the sharpest minds in DFS battle it out. And only the bold play survive. Let's go! We got Kevin Allen, the Geek in command. DFS Army, he built the brand. Star arbitrage, your numbers on lock. Talking new feed while he milks the chalk. And it's BobbyWow, call him 2 times. Millie Maker king with the sharpest lines. When Bobby speak, yeah, you listen close. Cause that galaxy brain just might toast your hopes. Burns in the lab with the spreadsheet magic. DraftKings book, that math is tragic. Higher rep and that Buckeye pride. Breaking the slate, he's on that ride. And Josiah, yeah, the cool black nerd. NBA stacks, that's his words. Ladies man jokes, nah, not quite. But he's still dropping GPP bombs all night. Tournament Tactics, it'll bust him out. TV sets, say chocolate guy. Brendan's blending too. Take it to says profits, hoping you. Tournament Tactics, eat up your spot. Ladies that stuff you banking off. You smoke that bow and then buddy out of heat. Cause the fin of this new as he can't compete. Tournament Tactics.
How'd he nail me so well on that intro?
All is right with the world.
How did they know? Geek milking the chalk. I was like, he knows me better than I know me. What the heck's going on out there? All right, guys, injury news, NFL Week 10. Lots of stuff. We were just talking about it pre-air. So I think the biggest one of them all, Mac Jones now starting for the 49ers. That's official, it seems like. Terry McLaurin out. A bunch of other names. Brian Thomas Jr. out. Okay. Terry McLaurin out. All right. But the big one that we're all waiting on, BobbyWow. This is your neck of the woods. All anybody cares about. And by the way, Ramondre Stevenson out, so we get the whole not play the stupid ass running backs from the Patriots situation all over again, because they're going to find another practice squad guy to play ahead of Trevion Henderson. But you know they're going to do that. By the way,
the guy scored. The non-Trevion Henderson guy scored. I don't remember his name. Tellers?
Jennings. It's Jennings, I think.
Jennings?
Yeah. He got a lot of carries. But Trevion Henderson, actually, I will point out, did get enough volume for his price to have paid off. Like, he was fine.
Yeah, he was out there for 75% of the snaps.
Yeah.
It was fine.
And I will be going right back to him for the record.
I think we go back to it now that the Dre is out. The other one is Bucky Irving is out. We got Rashad White. Nice situation for Rashad. But the biggest one of them all, Swift versus Monangai. Very important.
Maybe. Swift practiced yesterday in full. Did not practice today, but not because of the injury. Personal reasons were the reason he didn't practice today, which, as we all know, never good to go into the weekend with personal reasons as the reason you're not practicing. So, gotta watch that situation. If he is out, you fire Monangai right back up, and you go right back to him again. But we'll see.
Yeah, but that's huge. If Swift is out, we're right back on the Monangai bandwagon here. Even if Swift, if Swift plays, I think it's too gross to do anything. Peloton. No, the Discord, you have to be subscribed to DFS Army, full subscription. You'd have the optimizer. So Peloton's asking if the YouTube membership includes our Discord. It does not.
He's asking about Saturday though, the show.
Yeah, the main thing you do. No, but yes, you do get access to the Players Club Saturday show, building lineups together, but it'll be here on the YouTube channel. Not we post a link in the Discord, but you'd get the link if you're a member right here on the DFS Army YouTube channel. So you will not be in our Discord, but you will have access to the Players Club, and you can hang with me on Saturdays as we build lineups. Okay. Monangai. It's a big part of it. Trevion Henderson, BobbyWow, say going back to it. The other injury information of note. Did I miss anything? I mean, CJ Stroud is out. We've got Davis Mills quarterbacking for the Texans. That's pretty gross.
Marcus Mariota, I think, is the big one that we need to pay attention to quarterback wise. He'll be starting for JD this week.
I don't know if I like Mariota in this spot.
Yeah, I do on FanDuel, but maybe it's different on DraftKings.
Yeah, I think he's 5K on DraftKings. What's the salary on FanDuel?
I think he's min price. He's close. He's like 6,100, I think 6,300 final answer. So he's almost min price.
Yeah, he's not that here. 5,300 is full price. I mean, that's the dart price. You crazy?
Yeah.
Not going there. Especially it's not like a terrible matchup, but I don't know. I think he could do fine. I don't know. It doesn't excite me that much. All right, guys, but let's get into it. So some big news at the running back position. Again, Ramondre out. So we're going to have another situation where those Patriot running backs, do we go to Trevion? We'll talk about it. The Monangai thing still happening. Of course, we get Rico Dowdle in a smash spot, all in type situation going on there, but a lot of interesting spots to target this week. A lot of interesting games. Let's start with the game tiles, guys. Let's talk a little bit about some of these game environments because it's not as obvious. I think last week, all right, I just want to talk about what happened last week for a second. So last week, and I'm going to say the field in general, but certainly we here on the show, we're all over the right game environments. But in some ways, they all found a way to fail. Or a lot of them effectively found a way to somewhat fail. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that and an adjustment that I want to make mentally a little bit here. So last week, of course, my Caleb. Everybody loved Caleb. We all love Caleb. But so much of it was stacked with Rome Odunze. Odunze fails, and it goes to Moore and Loveland. Second guy.
Yeah, Komet got hurt at the beginning of the game, concussed.
Went to Zacchaeus, too.
That elevated Loveland.
And it went to the other guys that aren't the main guy. Dude, this happened all over the place. Look at Flacco, right? Same idea. You're loading up Flacco to Jamar Chase. It turns out to be a crazy T. I had a lot of T Higgins, but a lot more with Chase.
Tried to tell you about T.
Yeah.
What's that?
Tried to tell you about T.
Yeah, I had a lot of T. Love T, but Chase was the primary. T was kind of the secondary. And you saw there, all right, it went to T. Right about the environment, but the way it played out didn't quite perfectly hit the nail on the head of what we would want. There were a couple other spots like that as well last week. I'm trying to think of the third pay down quarterback. It was Dart, Flacco, and Caleb. Yeah, Dart actually the same idea. Smash score, put up a 29, great, but didn't really carry any position player with him into the nuts.
You were on that though. You talked about playing him naked.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And that was a naked spot playable. There were some other ones too, where just the second wide receiver, the tight end goes off. I think with Josh Allen, this was another week of Dalton Kincaid kind of popping off. I would say I don't know if Mahomes even put up Allen and Mahomes were too expensive. Their scores didn't really count, but it was also a game where Rashee Rice didn't quite shine. Like, he did okay. But
Mahomes did absolutely nothing fantasy-wise. It was like 12 points.
No, so there it is. So it wasn't a nut anyway. So that one we could throw away. But the general thought that I had coming out of last week was like, man, I nailed these quarterbacks so well. The ones I'm super over the field on all did amazing. But I had a good finish. In fairness, I had like a 25th place finish in the $3 contest. Good for $2,000. Good to make it. It turned my week into a profitable week. But it's not a screenshot that I'm like excited to share. But it made a profitable week. But I didn't win anything. I didn't take one down, and I'm like, man, what did I do wrong? Oh yeah, Flacco, because I had Chase in all those, or I had so much Odunze with my Caleb. So, I think this week when we talk about these game environments, one of the things I'm reminded of is when the game environments pop in, those are the spots where the Olamide Zacchaeus pops. It's like, I don't need the game environment to pop for Rome Odunze to have a good game. He's going to do that on occasion either way. But it's when the games are going nuts. It's those second and third players that wind up out kicking their coverage, so to speak. Like those are not the guys who put up a big number most weeks. So that's where you get the pop from. And maybe that's the most powerful part of a stack, much more so than the primary wide receiver.
Yeah, we got some this week too.
I think the moral to me too is just to expound on that is just have a mix. Don't go all in on QB plus WR1, right? You want to mix those guys in, your WR2, your tight end, your WR3. Keep a healthy mix of those guys in because you're stacking the right guys. The process is right. It's just a matter of making sure you got the right blend, right?
And just if we're doing this on MMA, got to look at the player combinations as well and make sure that your QB combinations aren't overly saturated with just like the prime WR1. You got to kind of make sure that the WR2 and 3 and even tight end are all mixed in. They're all in the mix. They're all in the mix. And yeah, Loveland popped a lot more. Listen, Loveland had a great game and we're on it now. But I mean, Cole Kmet got hurt at the beginning of that game and that's what opened it up.
That was key.
Yeah, it opened it up.
And Kmet's back. So we'll see.
Yeah. Anything Wu-Tang says, you should listen, by the way. All right. So let's talk through some of these game environments. I'm gonna go through them, and then I kind of want to throw it to you guys to say what your favorites are and kind of what your quick thoughts are. Right. The primary ones I want to talk about are always going to be the green ones on the Dom station. So we got Buffalo at Miami. Could be competitive. Doesn't really project that way, but you do have a monster team total for the Bills that should be accounted for one way or another. Stinker. And then we have Giants at Chicago. I love this one. Dart again. And
there's a little bit of a weather thing here, though.
Yeah.
Football weather. It's football weather in the air in Chicago.
Chicago's always got a little weather going on, but I'm not going to worry about that. All I'm going to say is, actually, Josiah, you actually brought up something really good, guys. And I'm going to throw this out to the entire world. I'm going to let you know in on the secret of whether we should react to weather. Okay. Charles Schwab is talking. EF Hutton's about to talk, so everybody listen. EF Hutton. I just dated myself to the 80s. Thank you very much. I wasn't even from the 80s. That's how far back I just went. Just watch the fucking game total. If the weather is so bad that it's going to cause fewer points to be scored, the game total will go down. That's how I figured it out. Josiah, I'm not going to look at the weather report. I'm not a weatherman. I don't know anything about that. I'm not a meteorologist.
Love it.
I'm just looking at the Bentman knows. Bentman is the only person who knows who EF Hutton is in the entire audience. We got
worse than dating yourself. You just got butted.
Yeah, it's from the 80s. But I'm not a weather. The same way I'm not a doctor. I don't know injuries. The same thing with the weather. I don't know. But the game total and the bettors do know. They're paying closer attention. So if that game total starts coming down, run away. But if the game total stays the same and everybody's warning you about the weather, I want more of that game because they're wrong. I'm not going to say I know the weather is going to be good. I just don't know. I know I don't know. So you know how many times I've been fooled into 40-mile-per-hour winds, and then you watch the game and it's like, it's fine. It's like, what? I didn't play it. Oh, monsoon weather conditions. And then they're all out there fine. So I'm not going to overly worry, especially with two running quarterbacks like Dart and Caleb anyway. It doesn't matter that much. But anyway, I like that game environment. Both defenses stink. Both offenses can score fairly quickly. That's the kind of stuff we want. Patriots at this Patriots-Bucks game is just like got my head in a swirly whirl. I don't know. I don't know why I can't wrap my mind around it. I just can't. Like it looks like it should pop, but then I'm like, both defenses are good. I don't know what to do with it. I'm waiting for the round table. A couple other people know the EF Hutton reference. One I think sneaky good guys, Ravens, Vikings. What if McCarthy plays competently again?
Man, I cannot wait to load up on the Baltimore defense, you guys. Am. Oh,
yep.
All right. There it is. Okay. I like that. I like the confidence, BobbyWow.
They'll never be cheaper than they are now. That's all I'll tell you.
That is fair. They certainly are being dropped in your season-long league. Everyone's, I don't want these guys anymore. McCarthy, I am going to say this as I watched the tape from last week's game. He was not that great. He was just like, we're excited that he was fine. and he didn't look completely horrible like he looked, but he wasn't like blowing me away like this is the next Dart. Okay, I'm not getting on the bandwagon just yet. He's no Dart. And then Mariota games always suck. And finally, they do.
Wait, you just got done preaching to us about the game total, and now all of a sudden, the highest game total on the slate, basically, we're going away.
Fine, okay. The Commanders at the Commanders at home against the Lions. The Lions can score real quick. Commanders got Mariota in there, slow playing it, milking that clock down to
Mariota might be operating this offense better than JD this season.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
It's hard to argue with that.
Blasphemous.
Look, if JJ Mac Jonesy could have done that to the Lions last week, or I think it was the Lions, then Mariota could do it, right?
Yeah, he could do it. He could. But I'm not excited about it. And then finally, and this game is really interesting, Mac Jones and the 49ers at home against the Rams. Polka's there. It's Polka's house. Christian McCaffrey's in this game. Could be interesting, but also both teams play really good defense. And so it's like they all have question marks, except for, of course, and even now, the weather in Chicago adds a question mark on that game. So with that being said, on that background, guys, before we get into the player pool, any game environments that I feel good about it, I feel confident about this team, we're going to crush here. Burns, which one of these game environments is popping for you?
Outside of the ones that you just already went through.
Even the ones I went through, there's outside. Wait, there exist other situations. I thought
there always
I know where Burnsy's going here.
Okay, talk.
There always exists another game outside of the ones that you always pop off that are the most chalk ones. So, it's the Seattle game for me. This game, I think this game could explode. We saw it week 3, maybe week 4, if I can't remember which one. Everybody was down on the Seattle game, Tampa Bay going all the way across the country. And guess what? It was the nut game of the frickin' week. And if you didn't have Sam Darnold in your lineups, you had no money because he was the nut quarterback. We had him on this show here. We were probably one of the only touts in the industry that did it. So
no one harder than Burnsy. I mean, nailed it. This is my dude. Like, Sam Darnold is the dude, man. Like, this week, I love that he's 5,800. You can get him, and you get Jackson Smith there, JSN. Now they got Rashid Shaheed.
With Torrey Horton out, Shaheed steps right in.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does look pretty good.
Yeah, and I'm still debating on a couple other spots in this game, like AJ Barner. I don't know if he's going to be out or not. If he is out, then you get a really cheap tight end in Arroyo at 2,800.
I like
who has seen good run even with AJ Barner. So, I like this environment because it's under the radar environment. It's under that 46, 47 point totals that everybody likes to gravitate towards, and everything above those. Don't get me wrong, every other game that's in green here is perfectly acceptable games to attack. So I really like this Seattle side of this ball. A lot more people go to the Brissett side. I just like Darnold, JSN. Love that stack. You don't have to go double stacking this. You can just go with those two guys and call it a day.
I'll add this, Burns. The chances of the Cardinals putting offensive pressure on the Seahawks increases significantly because they're rolling Brissett out there. So being right about Brissett, it just makes you righter about Darnold in that situation. So it does also probably relieve you of even needing to play Brissett, with the idea that, hey, if Brissett is doing anything here, the home team is answering, similar to the dart play a couple of weeks ago when Denver just came back and ended up slapping Bo Nix in the super nuts that particular week, not because of anything Denver does. We saw last night, Denver, given the opportunity, isn't going to do anything in a game. They're just going to sit back and win it with their defense. But when they have to catch up, clearly they can't. especially against the Giants who don't play defense.
They're not playing the Giants though.
No, not this week. That's more of a nod to Caleb.
Yeah.
But yes, good call. Guys, anything else? Any other game environments? Josiah, BobbyWow, that or even the ones that mentioned that you guys are like, this is the one I really like. Let's go real quick and then let's get over to the quarterback breakdown. But Josiah, which one is popping for you?
I mean, when we're looking at game stacks, it's for me the highest total one. Josh Allen, Achane, Waddle. It's so easy to make lineups with that. It's a little pricey, but that's the one that I'm definitely going to be over the field on.
I like it. Wow.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think for me, it's going to be the Rams and the 49ers simply because I don't have to worry about the quarterbacks in this game. I'm not going to play any Mac Jones. I'm not going to play any Stafford, but that kind of frees up my brain to play some of the supplementary pieces here, the CMCs, the Juwan Jennings, the Pukas, where I don't have to get as cute, where I'm playing the quarterback. So I will have tons of kind of like ancillary pieces from this game, but none of the quarterbacks. So that's where I'm going.
Interesting choice. Yeah, I think you can. One of the things with Stafford is you can capture a lot of his upside with just like a Puka.
Yep.
Puka got hurt last week, and even after the injury, I still didn't feel like Devontae Adams is delivering the kind of production that you need for his salary level. So I think it's just Puka. Like Devontae Adams is priced almost as if Puka's not playing, which is no bueno for me. I'm just going to go the Puka side of it. And Kendrick Bourne. I was waiting for a reaction from Bourne. I was waiting for that reaction. All right, guys. Good stuff. Good game environments. So adding one into the greens, Seattle side of that game. Somebody asked in the chat here if we need to bring back from Arizona in that Seattle game. I don't think you need it, but certainly
I'd go Trey McBride. That would be my personal run back on that game is Trey McBride. It's going to be really expensive, but I don't mind it. I mean,
yeah, if you can afford it, McBride. I think we also saw a pretty good game out of Marvin Harrison Jr. and he's super cheap this week, so I don't have any issue with MHJ either. And you know what? If we figured out that Amari Demar, actually, I don't really like that. I don't like it anyway. No underdog running back. Nah, forget it. All right, let's do the old sortaroo by ownership here and see what people are doing this week. Okay, and there it is. So at the quarterback position, oh my God, this is crazy. I always am shocked. Is this going to hold? I don't know. But how is JJ McCarthy the third highest owned quarterback on the slate right now?
People love paying down, Kevin.
It's gonna hold. It's gonna hold.
Really?
Yeah,
and people see the Ravens defense is really, really bad too,
which is crazy. Yeah, they're
a lot
healthier and healthier, man. Starting against the Bears, they got healthy and they've just gotten healthier since.
We saw it last year with the Ravens. Remember, everybody was jumping on board for weeks, like 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks total, and then all of a sudden they got healthy, and everybody was still jumping on them, and they were like, "What?" Because
the metrics are rear looking. And so, hey, this was this injured secondary team getting smoked, and they got a 32 next to their fantasy points allowed to the position group number on DraftKings. And hey, that's going to get you on that. That's why. I mean, we're not assuming that they also just got better during the year, not just even healthier. They just played more cohesively over the course of the year. Defenses start to play better together as long as the talent's there as the year progresses. Defenses in general are a little bit noisy. Like they're never quite as good as what they might seem. And a lot of times they're never quite as bad as what they sometimes seem, unless you're talking about the Bengals, which are worse than anything, which is impossible to even be. All right. So McCarthy, third highest owned guy. Josh Allen and Lamar up top. All right. Interest. There's Dart. Number 4 on the list. I don't like my chalky Dart. I like it secretive. I've tried to keep it quiet for the last 3-4 weeks. The Dart play. I don't know why it's percolating like this. Mayfield and Mac Jones up there. Sam Darnold under 3%. Caleb, BobbyWow.
That's the part that worries me. That 3% ownership on Caleb, that I feel like has to change.
There's no way that holds.
Right?
Oh no, he was high last week, His
And he's
ownership-
absolutely
ownership was
popped
like-
off to the moon.
Yeah, his ownership was like 7-8%, right? So that's higher than what it is now. On the show last week, and he came in a lot. He came under that in the Millie Maker. He was like 6-7, like somewhere around there percent. I was shocked, to be honest with you.
You know, it's funny
Thankful.
because people in the comments, they keep ripping me for eating chalk. Okay, even the song "Milk and Chalk." Your core players, everybody's got those cores. All right. Well, we talked up Caleb and Dart last week. So you're saying if he's like 7%, that's not chalk. It's a great play at low ownership. Under here, I don't see any names that. So to me, everybody under Caleb, all of these guys are completely not playable. Or I wouldn't have any interest in any of them. So Darnold and Caleb right now look like the lowest owned kind of like good plays.
Yep.
I like that. Ooh, I like that a lot.
I think part of the problem is Caleb's price for people. He's kind of in that upper tier of pricing, which is really tough for people to swallow. Understandably so, I suppose.
No. After last week, like that's what I don't get. Maybe if last week didn't happen, sure, but 31 fantasy points? Get over it.
More than that, I think.
Yeah, it was
went-
36 or 37.
Yeah.
Yeah, get over it. 6K value.
38.7, 39 fantasy
There
points.
you go.
Listen, if
Value.
we haven't figured out yet on slates with the Bengals to play the Bengals and play whoever the hell is against them, we don't deserve to be playing DFS. Like, come on. There's a pattern happening, but that same pattern repeats with the Giants. It's not as intense, but it's kind of similar. They score and they allow a lot of scoring. So I think this game, that's why I said we're going back to something. It feels a little chasey, like feels like we're chasing what happened last week. But you know what? It's not chalk. So therefore,
Only chasey if it's chalky.
yeah, it's not chalk. If these players were all going to be 20% or 15%, fine, but they're not owned.
Allen
what?
might get up that. He might get up there though. He might get 15 to 20%.
I don't even like the Allen play. It's funny. He's the highest owned guy. I don't hate the play, but it's not like I think this is a James Cook spot.
Yeah, you never like Josh Allen in spots where you don't see the game staying super competitive.
Yeah, because he doesn't put up big numbers in those situations. He just I've got like years of splits on this that it just doesn't. But Josiah, thank you for pointing that out. And you're right. And I do have that pattern because I've just seen it over and over and over again. But I don't know that the Dolphins won't be competitive here. I think there's a small chance that they can make a game of this, and that's where it could really pop a little bit better. I do think there's like a slight possibility. But that being said, I still think that Dolphins being one of the worst run defenses in the league, it doesn't bode that well for needing. Basically, you need to stuff Cook a bunch of times for Allen to either run it in or the rare throwing for a touchdown that he does.
Yeah. And Cook is dealing with that ankle injury, so he's a little banged up, which might help the ownership here a little as well.
Yeah. See, the chat is asking if Tua is a playable spot in the Millie Maker.
Yeah, I think he is. I don't think he's a good play. I think he's playable though.
Everybody's playable in the Millie Maker, except for Davis Mills.
Hell no.
That's a big no-no. That's a major no-no. All right. So
Tyler Shaw for you, Geek?
what's that?
Is it Tyler Shaw for you? He's playable?
No. Tyler Shook is not
So
playable.
those two.
We could scroll down. I'll add in that Trevor Lawrence at Texans is not playable. Dylan Gabriel is never playable at any circumstance. So yeah, that's what I said. No one below Caleb is even in the discussion for usable in my mind, including Tua. But hey, if you want to do it.
For the sake of a conversation, though, Jets did get rid of all of their defensive talent. So a little bit of a softer matchup. I like Judkins more, but I can understand if someone really does want to get silly with that Mills play.
I can count on 0 hands the number of times that Dylan Gabriel has outscored 15 fantasy points in a game.
Hey.
I don't even need a hand for that. It's just a 0. Like, no, it's not. They don't even throw. They're not going to throw against the Jets. It's just going to be Quinshon Judkins, which is why Judkins is a good play. And especially against the Jets, who will hand you touchdowns just by the ineptness of their offense. You don't have to do anything. You just play defense, slow the game down, and win it, just like that horrible Broncos game last night, 10-7. That was brutal to watch.
Torture.
By the way, when did the Raiders become a defensive juggernaut?
Bo Picks. Bo Picks is a fraud. That's all I'll say.
Is Bo Picks a fraud?
Yes.
I think he's a little overrated in some scenarios. He's still learning. He's still young.
Bo Picks is Tim Tebow with more arm talent. And I love Tim Tebow, okay?
Tim Tebow was awesome for so many reasons.
Yeah, and Bo has a better arm, and that's about it. Some good fourth quarter comebacks.
Okay. I wish Flynn was here to hear this craziness. That's
I have
wild.
too much respect for Flynn to call him a
He
total.
would not be happy. He would not be happy. No one's getting sauced, but luckily they don't have anybody to sauce on that team. As a matter of fact, the Browns passing offense is so inept that Sauce would have sat this game out anyway, just because it's unfair.
You talk about Bryce Young looking like he's throwing an anvil. Dylan Gabriel, it looks like his arm starts hurting after like 15 pass attempts because the ball is just too heavy for him to throw. God, he's so bad.
Like Uncle Rico out there. It's not really Bryce Young. It's really much more Kyler Murray that does that. I haven't watched enough of Bryce Young to have made that judgment. I just watch Kyler Murray just like
We hear you say it all the time.
wind it up. I get it though. If you're 5'7",
Just watch Bryce in the fourth quarter and you'll be happy.
Can't get the velocity on the ball like a 6'4" man with 14-inch hands, or a 5'7" dude with 9-inch hands. I mean, Bryce Young has like 9-inch hands. I'm not even joking. That was the problem with him coming out of college.
5 and 4.
Go Pack, go.
My hand is bigger than Bryce Young's hand.
That's my fourth quarter goat right there, though. Bryce Young.
That's my go-to, baby. Beating the Packers like that, Lord have mercy.
Love it.
All right. All right. So let's get into our studs and duds section of the show. We are ready for this. So pay up options at quarterback. There are a plentiful amount of them. I actually like Lamar, I think, more than Josh Allen. So, okay. Oh, there's Lamar with 9% ownership. Yeah. So it's Josh Allen highest owned, Lamar next. Stafford priced up now. That's going to be tough. He's getting it done. Going to be tough. Drake May, no Keyshawn Boutte this week. Has not really put up a score worthy of a 6,400 price point yet, or that would crush it. Drake May, for as great as he's been, has not put up 30s. He's putting up, 25s. So that's all right. Baker Mayfield, we love Baker Mayfield every week. But it's been a few weeks since we've seen him have a big game. Caleb coming off the big game, Sam Darnold. But I think for the top group guys, let's stick with like 6K and up. So Caleb on up, and Burns, I'll just get over to you on this group. Anywhere, what are your preferreds? Are you paying up at quarterback this week?
I don't know. I haven't been in love with away favored quarterbacks this year, and neither has the Millie Maker. The top 20 lineups. It's actually one of the worst sections of quarterbacks for the entire year so far. Meaning, home favorites, away favorites, home dogs, away underdogs. It's by a lot. So I'm not in love with any paying up for either one of these guys, to be honest with you.
I would say you could take that all the way down to Drake May. They're all away.
Yeah. Well,
favored running backs.
Yeah. Drake May is not favored. He's actually an underdog.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Baker at home is favored. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I think you have to have them in the player pool for you, but I'm not in love with these guys. Like we said, James Cook could actually be the guy in the offense for the Bills. So that kind of renders Josh Allen at the highest salaried running or quarterback kind of meaningless. And he, could have a 25-point game, but at 7K, I need him to have 30 plus because there could be other quarterbacks that have 25 plus. So that are lower than him. Lamar coming off of injury, it's not, sure thing that he's going to be completely Lamar-esque that we've seen prior to his injury. So for me, like Baker's the starting guy here in this upper tier just because he's a home favored quarterback. And then from there, it's Caleb, it's Sam, it's, down below them. So I like the guys starting at Baker and below more than I like the guys above them, even though Matt Stafford could have a decent game in this game.
Josiah, how about you? Of the pay up options?
Yeah, I have a similar thought process to Burns here. There's one guy we didn't mention that's below 6K that I'll wait on, but most people know I play somewhere between 5 to 6 quarterbacks. The two guys that I'm playing that are up top are Josh Allen and Matthew Stafford. They're not guys, they're guys I'll have leverage on, but the cheaper guys are guys that I'm making a priority in this week.
Okay, I like it. BobbyWow?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm a little bit shocked at the excitement for Lamar. And I get he's a beast. He's an absolute stud. He's an MVP. He looked healthy enough last week, threw for 4 touchdowns. But the Vikings are actually a pretty solid defense at home, especially, against the pass. And so I've got some Lamar ceiling concerns there. I'd much rather pay up for Josh Allen. The ownership is tough to eat for me, but I think Josh Allen, to me, is the easy pay up. He's much cheaper to stack as well. And I think it's easier to game stack Josh Allen as well. I really, really like HN from the from the Dolphins, along with Waddle. I think you're going to take your pick. Both those guys are in great spots. So yeah, to me, it's Josh Allen is easy number one, and then the guys in the middle feel kind of gross to me. Like, you really got to try and work hard to make a case for Lamar. Stafford's always tough to make a case for, regardless of matchup. Drake May scored a season high last week, but it was 27 fantasy points. So, to me, it's Caleb is the next guy. I think Josh Allen's the easy number one pay up, and then Caleb for me in terms of guys 6K and up.
Let's stay with the theme and kind of go with that next tier. Then BobbyWow said Caleb. I agree with you. I did see a comment in the chat that I want to address of 4x for Josh Allen at 7, 14, 21, 28. He doesn't need to get 30. He can get you 4x at 28. That is not the case with quarterbacks, guys. When you pay for the most expensive quarterback, we're only looking at the raw points at that point. So if Josh Allen only scores 28 and also Dart scores 28 for 1,200 lower, that's an advantage on the cheaper player. So that's leverage on the cheaper one. So at quarterback, we're actually able to get 6x and 7x type performances from some of the cheaper guys. So even a 4x from a pay up is not enough. What needs to happen for Josh Allen to be the nuts, or Lamar, is for them to do what they'll do on occasion, which is have one of those games where they put up a 40. Where they blow the scores of the cheaper guys away so much that if you didn't have Allen, you're going to have a hard time winning this week. That's what we're looking for in that pay up, which is why it's more GPP than what people it's more GPP only than people realize, because that 40-point game from Josh Allen is only happening 20% of the time.
Maybe I don't know. This week it's tighter than usual. The difference between 7K and 5,800, or 5,700, that's really your player pool, right? At quarterback, there are not a ton of guys below there that you're excited to jump at, especially guys that have 30-point upside. So it's tighter group than normal in terms of salary. And on top of it, the stacking is so cheap for Josh Allen. That to me is kind of like the difference maker. Is you got a tighter salary group, number one, but then to stack Josh Allen is incredibly cheap when you look at guys like Shakir or Coleman, which is gross. But again, those stacks are so cheap, relatively speaking.
I would open up that you also just don't need to stack him, and it's fine too.
Sure. And again, even better to make the case even further, I think.
Yeah,
so let's
like the Patriots. As soon as people start saying they know who the ball's going to, it goes the other direction.
Yeah, I hate stacking Josh Allen, although it's really been Dalton Kincaid for most of the season. Yeah, we've got to accept that Dalton Kincaid is probably the best stack with Allen guy at this point. You cannot trust Keon Coleman at all. Khalil Shakir is perpetually overpriced for what he does.
Doesn't mean you can't play them. It just means you can't trust them.
Yeah. And he's going to be over-owned too. I mean, he's going to be really owned this week.
Allen, yeah.
Shakir, I'm talking about Shakir too.
Oh, because of the Allen chalk, and they're just going to stack him up.
Yep.
Let's get to the secondary group here. Bobby, wow, you mentioned Caleb Williams at the top of that group. Sam Darnold's in it. We got Jackson Dart. Let's go. I'm not sure there's anyone else. So that's kind of the three that I've got. You know, I don't know. I guess arguments can be made. There's a lot of ownership going in on JJ McCarthy, and there's some ownership on Mac Jones. Some of these 5K guys are getting some interest, but you know, I think the top dogs are more interesting, and they're not super high owned. Dart, of course, Caleb, and Darnold. So with that being said, Bobby Wow, I'll keep it with you. In the lower cost zone, we already know you love Caleb. We get it. I love him too. Anyone else, or tell me a little more about your approach?
Yeah, I love Dart. The Bears are still brutally thin at secondary. You know, Dart should be able to eat them alive. Joe Flacco can do it. Dart can do it. Plus, he's got the rushing upside. You know, I think Dart could easily get it done here. Love him. Darnold as well. I think Bernsey made a good case. I'm sure we'll hear more from Bernsey too, but really tough to make a case against Darnold. Outside of the Cardinals have been much better defensively just over the course of the season. They've really impressed, you know, for the most, just week after week, really. Their secondary has been pretty dang good. So, you know, outside of that, Darnold's looks like a very solid play. The other guy I'll have some exposure to on FanDuel more so, but I kind of like him on DraftKings as well, is Marcus Mariota. I know it sounds gross, but look, the guy has the ability to run the football, and he's shown it time and time again. And the Lions are just not as good away from home. So, you know, I think the Lions are a team that's going to put up points. Love that Mariota is going to be forced to kind of like keep the pedal down. This is not going to be a game where they can just, you know, ground and pound and kind of run the clock. So not a ton of interest, but I do have some interest in Mariota as well if we're looking below here.
I like it. I don't love the Mariota stuff, but you know, you can convince me, I guess. I saw him. He just sucks. He sucks, dude. I know he can run for a touchdown, but man, he sucks. He does. Remember, he's just not good. Josiah, how about you in this zone here? Any kind of different little Bryce Young, little B sizzles?
No B sizz, but there is one guy, Jared Goff, who I don't see here, but we do have him at 5,900 going up against the Commanders. We saw what Sam Darnold did to this team last week. This Washington team, they're old and slow. Goff did not look great last week against the Vikings, but this Lions team has been pretty consistent. When they fall short, that next week they go hard. And I kind of feel bad for Washington because they already lost Jaden Daniels, but they're going to be hurting again this week. And so Goff is a guy that I just really want to be over the field on. For those reasons. But I'm also, but like you guys said, those are my other four quarterbacks: Caleb Williams, Sam Darnold, and Jackson Dart. But Goff is the only one who wasn't mentioned yet.
I'm trying to understand why Goff is not showing in the player pool right here.
He shows up for me, so I don't know.
Yeah, he might have accidentally.
You X him out.
I mean, I don't know. I'm like, what the heck happened to Goff? All right.
He's there.
He is there. Okay. That was really weird. And not showing up for me. What the heck is going on here? Anyway, we'll address that later. Bert, how about you in the lower cost zone here?
Yeah, so I tend to look at when there are some discerning factors for me across the metrics. But one factor is the fantasy points against the average and how a defense is actually producing against the average total fantasy point production across the spectrum. And it's game specific. It's not just, you know, over the course of the given season. It goes straight to the defense and how that defense could perform. And this is really why I like Sam Darnold this week, and I really think that he's probably going to be underowned. Is that
right?
Arizona is actually not as good as you think they are as a defense. They're actually they're going to be 5 places higher in my metrics from a defense, and being higher is not good. So right now, the average fantasy points against the position at quarterback they have them listed as 9, but in my metrics I have them at 14, and so that's a big uptick for me for Darnold. Plus, defenses tend to not play well away from their home stadium. And so Arizona is another one that's like that as well. And I just don't see any upside here from a defensive perspective for Arizona at all. But, it could be wrong. They could be a defense that is on top of the fantasy production this week. And, you get double-digit points from them. But I'm going to take it the way that I see it. And I'm going to play a lot of Darnold this week. He'll probably be one of my top owned guys just because of it. Other guys, obviously, I'll be all over the Giants game on both sides of the ball. I'm with Josiah here. I really do think that Jared Goff is not going to be another one that goes under-owned. I absolutely love his price tag. 5,900 is going to go under the radar. You'll see a lot of button pushers as they'll look and they'll say, well, Caleb Williams is at 6. I don't really need that extra $100. So I'm not going to go to Goff. Well, Goff could have a really good game. I know he's not very good on the road, and we've seen that time and time again. And you don't have to get a lot of them, like 5% of him in your lineups, and you're good. So I do have some interest in Goff. I have it probably about the 10% range. I don't know if I really want to go to anything above that with him, but I do love him with ASRB. And I think JMO is the guy that could be the under-owned play on that offense this week too. So,
I like it. As far as Goff goes, my little gaffe before of unchecking that game was almost premeditated in the sense that me and Randy Jackson agree on our position on Goff this week.
No. Randy? It's a no for me, dog. I don't think it was really good.
I don't think so. I will say though that in case you didn't know, but now you do, who I loves me in this zone.
It's Jackson Dart. You chose Jackson Dart.
Loves me some Dart. But I agree. I love Burns, your call on Sam Darnold. You have gotten me on him. That's it. I am fully convinced and on board. By the way, if Arizona defense was good, they're still not stopping Jackson Smith and Jigba. Even if they had Sauce, they're not slowing Jackson Smith and Jigba down that much. That's how good that guy is playing right now. And now
he's on an incredible run this year. Like his run is incredible this year.
Yeah, no, he's the top scoring wide receiver. And he's the top scoring wide receiver on the season. He's unstoppable defensively.
And all it took was them moving him to the outside. He was in the inside for the since he became a Seahawk. And then this is the first year they moved him to the outside, and he's playing the position at wide receiver just like he did at Ohio State. It's freaking like the dude's balling out, and we're seeing it.
And as you know, Burn, he's been fantastic against zone. And of course, the Cardinals play a shit ton of zone.
Yeah. I will say this, just because we're having a little cute conversation here. We did see these teams play a couple weeks ago, and this was the game where Seattle and Jackson Smith in particular really struggled. It sucked. It was a showdown game.
That was
where
Thursday,
the Cardinals effective. Okay, it was a different day. Sorry.
You're
right.
Those
different
are
day.
different, though. Those hit
Throw it all out.
No, but you're right.
This Cardinals team
that's a fair point. They did slow him down.
Darnold and clamped JSN. So it's food for thought. That's all.
That's fair.
Bring it down a little. I get it.
Yes, but we have to.
It's Sunday. This is tomorrow. This is Sunday.
Thursday. Thursday matchups have just been like that all year. I mean, like they just. They always seem to be terrible. So, but yeah, that is reasonable as well. But generally, though, JSN, I like Puka a little more than JSN player pool wise. But as far as like stacking up with Darnold, I'm not playing Darnold without Jackson Smith and Jigba. Like that's who he's throwing to. As much as I was talked up before, go to the alt guys. I think you can add an alt guy in there. But you still probably need JSN to have a big day for Darnold to be in the nuts lineup this week. I didn't find too many places I want to go below this zone. So Caleb, Dart, and Darnold, I'm just not really liking anything else that I'm seeing down here. The field enjoys McCarthy a little bit. I think Mac Jones has a tough matchup on the road or even at home against the Rams, a good Rams defense team. I don't love it. And I'm just not Team Mariota right now. I'm just not on it. I watched this guy be good at the first couple of quarter, and then he just falls apart over the course of the game. I don't like it. Yeah, and that's right. Ray is right with Shaheed. With no Torrey what's the guy's name? Torrey Holt?
Horton.
Torrey Holton?
Yep.
Or Torrey Horton with Horton out and Cooper Kupp out, but also washed. Yeah, why not Shaheed, who knows the offense? No, he knows the offense. That's the whole thing. So he does not need to learn.
I cannot believe I just listened to you poo-poo Marcus Mariota for stinking, but just floating Rashid Shaheed's name out there like he's just A-okay.
Shaheed's great.
Rashid Shaheed
Lord
stinks.
have
Rashid
mercy.
Shaheed is, but all he's done is create millionaires
He's so good.
multiple times over the course of his career. He's created more millionaires than anyone.
You're thinking of a different saint. You're thinking of Traquan Smith.
No, Rashid Shaheed is the new Traquan Smith. He's the modern Traquan Smith. Literally in the same role, from the same team, doing the same things. Except Shaheed did it a lot more frequently than Traquan ever did. Traquan only did it the one time for that showdown. And then a second time. That was it.
That's true. Shaheed might have done it twice.
No, Shaheed's done it a lot of times. Go back and look.
Shaheed, my warning. I love that.
Shaheed, my warning. Don't play Shaheed.
That's so good.
That's a good one. All right, guys. Let's move on to the running back position NFL Week 10. It's where the money's going to be made, guys. And there's a lot of mysteries. We talked about some injury situations. We now know that, for example, Rachaad White will be starting. Okay, cool. Good to know. Swift, personal reasons, he's out today. We'll know more tomorrow about what happens there. I think we're all hoping that he doesn't play so that we can get another Monungai smash day and go all in on it.
Yep.
But Rico Dowdle, the top chalk. Christian McCaffrey against the number one rush defense in the league right now is the second highest owned guy. All right, interesting. Devon Achane, home underdog, third highest owned. Kyron Williams, James Cook I love, right? Rachaad White's in there. And then, of course, Judkins, we got some other spots, some injury situations. There's even the possibility of playing some super, super duper low owned Trevion Henderson. I can't even find Trevion Henderson in ownership. That's how low it is. Yeah, 5% Trevion Henderson.
That's just too low, man. My goodness.
I feel like that has to change with Ramondre getting ruled out. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
I don't think it's going to change. I think people are like, fuck that guy after last week, and that's it. I also have one super sleeper. I'm going to save it for the end. I have a super sleeper, Stone Min salary, just about, that is viable. But let's go to top down, guys. And Burns, I'll throw it back over to you. Top down, McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, start off a dud. Cook, HN. No one talking about Henry at all. You can get it done. We got Kyron and Judkins. We'll do this little group down to 6,500 here. Burns, there is obvious chalk below with Rico Dowdle. It's an all-in situation. But in the upper tier group, a lot of the Burns rules are not being abided by here. There's a few that work and a few that don't. Talk to me.
Yeah, I don't understand the chalk on Christian McCaffrey this week. I think this will be one of his most difficult matchups that he is going to have all year. The Rams are no joke defense against the run. And they're probably going to hold him down this week. And they're no joke against the pass catching running backs. So I am going to be Xing him out of my player pool. He will not be in it.
Change your name from Burns to Balls.
He's a home underdog. And the only reason why I don't like him is because he's not metrically projecting well. I just don't see it I'll gladly take the chalk on that. And if he burns me, he burns me. But no pun intended. But
Pun intended. That was a great pun.
But you got to take calculated risks. And this is one that I'm taking. I like Rico Dowdle this week. I think he's a great play. I think he's in a smash spot, and like I said last week, there are every player can fail, and there's opportunities for him to fail, and that could be where Chuba Hubbard gets more run than people are expecting him to get, and that could be where it fails, and Chuba Hubbard actually produces the touchdowns, and Rico Dowdle does the yardage, but he doesn't do 100 plus, and it just melts lineups away that way. I mean, Derrick Henry, I think he's viable because Lamar's back, and it makes him more viable. But I think Quinshon Judkins at sub 10% ownership is really interesting because he's probably going to be the offense for this game. And I do like him a good bit in this game. And then I'm going right back to the well with Kyron Williams in this game. I really think that he could have a decent game as well. We saw that he produced over 20 plus points DraftKings wise last week. Got ripped about it, but it was a solid week for him as well.
It wasn't a rip, but more just
I would have liked to have seen him got another touchdown, but and then he
Burns. Look at the numbers here. I'm pulling it up so that you see as well. I want you to be aware.
They're about what they were last week.
60-30 is what you're getting. You're not getting my dislike for Kyron is simply that he's no longer.
I understand. I get it. I get it. But we play different ways. We play different styles.
Yeah.
And he's solid. He's a solid. He's going to be in my lineups. And I'm glad I'll take him at 16% ownership. I'll gladly take that. And then another guy, and then here's my stud off the dud, is Jahmyr Gibbs. Last week, he destroyed my high dollar single entry. And so I'm going right back to him because I think he could actually produce well. These are the kind of games where they lean on Jahmyr. So, and don't get me wrong, I love James Cook this week too.
Couldn't agree more on the James Cook side of that one. How about you, Josiah? Any pay up options exciting you here at the running back position? Who are you button clicking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm playing golf, which means I'm playing Gibbs too. So he's my favorite pay up option here too. I'm not as ballsy as Burns. I'm not fading CMC. I will be pretty much close to field weight exposure there. But I think that's a good fade call. Ultimately, though, my two top guys up here are Gibbs and HN, though. I will match the field on Derrick Henry for the reasons we mentioned. I will not be playing Kyron Williams. I just can't do it anymore. And then I'll be significantly over the field on Judkins and Rico. Rico going ham last week against the Packers defense, which is a top 5 rushing defense, is enough for me to just be sold. I don't even care if he reaches 7 or 8K. I'm probably still playing Rico. And the fact that he's only 6,300, there is the risk of Chuba taking a few touches, but the coaching staff has said he's the guy. They realize now them trying to split carries did not work because Chuba, we're going to be gentle with this, is just not that guy anymore. Rico is though. So yeah, I have already increased my exposure max cap that I normally have on running backs just to have a ton of Rico here.
The projection for Rico is crazy. Rico Dowdle on the props right now, 18.6 fantasy points. The only two running backs on the entire slate that are that or more are McCaffrey and HN. Literally.
Sorry, I couldn't hear. Josiah cut out a little bit when he was talking about Chuba. What were you saying about Chuba?
Chuba, he can definitely still get those goal line touches.
Well, like the end. What was the last thing you said about him? Something about
he stinks now.
No, whoa. I'm not saying anything else. Anything, we cannot put bad words on Chuba. We just have to be gentle. He's getting a little bit older.
Gotta be gentle.
He's still a team captain. We just gotta be sweet with it. You gotta be sweet with it.
All right, BobbyWow. Victory lapping your Chuba hate from last season, or are we talking running backs right now?
Look, you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. And unfortunately for Chuba, we all know where he is now. We'll be gentle with it, though. We'll be gentle. I think all the running backs have been talked about up here. I like CMC, I think, more than what's being led on. His props projection is massive once again. And really what his upside is with Mac Jones as a pass catcher. It's harder for me to make a case for CMC on FanDuel, half-point PPR, but these two teams squared off, I think, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and CMC caught 8 passes for 82 yards and a touchdown. Like, that is where the meat and potatoes is for him. I think as long as Mac Jones is under center, that's kind of what we can come to expect is, 6, 7, 8 to 10 targets for CMC. And that upside is big time as long as he's getting that many targets. So he's my pay up still. I do, I think definitely make the case for Cook or Gibbs here, though. I think Achane, though, for me is the number 2 guy. His PPR upside is massive too. I think the Bills have kind of had more holes on defense, at least in terms of pass catching running backs. I think if the Dolphins have any prayer whatsoever, it's in the arms of Achane. So I do kind of like him, and I'll be game stacking Josh Allen quite a bit with Achane on the other side.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, there's not that many pay down options going on at running back to really go beyond what we're talking about here. But yeah, for me, the pay up is going to be Cook will be my preferred, just because seeing that Miami defense, they can't stop the run at all. They've been really, really bad versus the run. And the Bills do run Cook in these types of games. So it's exactly the setup for a big game from Cook. And it also would perfectly burn all the Josh Allen chalk, which is double leverage on the slate for me in tournaments. I like that. Down here, Judkins, you guys are, everybody's correct. He's going to be most of the offense for the Browns. The problem is the Browns are supposed to score like 2 touchdowns in this game. He needs to get at least half of those to, get us there. He doesn't catch a pass. So Judkins is fine. I don't like the price, if I'm being honest. I don't like the price. I think it's even 6,500 is a little bit spendy for what he does and what the team total is for the Browns in this one. It's just a gross, 19-point total. There's only 2 touchdowns to go around in that. So I like him, but I don't love him. Obviously, Rico Dowdle is awesome. Rachaad White, I think, is playable. I was kind of watching. I think under the radar is if Aaron Jones might sit and maybe Jordan Mason becomes an interesting play. Slightly.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. It does sound like Jones is going to play, though.
If he plays, then he plays. As I go below and as I kind of venture my way down into this lower cost zone, you can see here, there's not a whole lot of sexy at all happening. I'm just not, the Breece Hall thing, it's not appealing to me.
Not against the Browns.
I don't like his prop projection. I don't like anything about it. So it's not really popping for me. Tyrone Tracy, hell no. After last week, nope.
Monungai will become interesting if Swift is out.
He goes beyond interesting if Swift is out. He'll become
chalk.
Yeah, he becomes the best play on the entire slate, I would say. So we got to monitor the Swift situation. If Swift is out, I think Monungai best play on the slate. Yep. Right? I mean, if he's out, I'm just like Dowdle Monungai. It's going to start all my lineups that way. Eat that chalk, chomp it up.
Don't sleep on Henderson, man, at 5,600. Yeah. I know it's really hard to click that button. I can understand the pain. I feel it too, but at sub 10% owned, that props projection is actually pretty dang juicy still. Yeah. I know we let people down last week, but the snap count was there.
The snap count and the targets were there. He had the same amount of targets as the other random receivers this team is running out there.
He had nearly 20 touches. Exactly. The volume's there. The snap count's there. I would say all things considered, you can click that button again this week.
I agree. You can go back to Trevion, not as a core play, probably. Oops.
No, but he's projected 6% right now. I'll 20, 25%, no problem.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm on board with that as well. I think go stud off he's not a stud, but player off of a dud, off of a disappointing week. It's always that second week anyway, when you think it's going to happen, and then it happens the second week. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it. But he's in the exact same situation, the exact same spot this week. And we're like, no, it failed last week. You got to go right back to it. I agree with you, BobbyWow. That's a classic what would BobbyWow do moment right there.
Dude, Vrabel is so due on this one, right?
Well,
it's not even about it's not even
Go
about
ahead.
Henderson anymore. It's about the actual coaching staff, right? They're so due on this now. It's like, just let the guy play.
By the way, he
And I
looks
would say
great. Every time he's out.
similar mindset with Burnsy's call on Montgomery. I think Montgomery's a spot that's really interesting to go back to this week. He's really cheap, and his prop projection is really, really solid for 5K. So
He was a solid play last week too, man. I was all
it wasn't
over him
bad.
last
He wasn't
week.
bad last week at all. But I just want to say, you were all of him last week. I think he maybe even better this week to go back to him.
Yep.
If anyone's curious, Henderson did struggle against the pass a little bit last week, but they have no other options. So
You mean against the pass rush?
yeah, against the pass rush.
Yeah, see, that must be why they're pulling him out. The guy cannot block. He can't pass protect.
But neither can the backup though, so it's okay.
You would think so.
It's all about reps.
Exactly.
Can't expect to get better without reps. So
I'm
at least
gonna
that's what
bring
I'm
up-
praying Vrabel's thinking.
I'm going to bring up one super cheap guy. No one's going to like it. I know. Even I don't like it. But then I kind of don't hate it. Let me see if I can find him.
I hate it already.
Yeah.
Good.
He's
I
buried.
didn't even see it in that group.
No, I'm just going to bring up Devin Singletary in the sense that he actually got more carries and more work than Tyrone Tracy last week.
True.
Am I going to do it? Probably not. It's probably no. But I did want to mention there is a cheap guy that is at least somewhat. It might be that he's the starter for all we know. I don't know. What the hell happened? Look at Tyrone Tracy. He didn't do anything. 5 carries.
That doesn't exactly scream play Devin Singletary to me.
No, it's
The
just
last time it was worth playing Devin Singletary was never.
that's fair.
What are you thinking? Like 2 rushing touchdowns here, like some end zone.
I think the
carries?
last time
Got
when
some
he's
carries?
wasn't he with Houston and he actually popped off for a game, but that was about it.
He's had good games in his career, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, no.
Tough.
All right.
No,
guys, we're-
it's interesting because there's no one else down there, right? If you're gonna pick one guy, one turd, why not?
I mean, I would say, I think Kenny Walker is not that worst play in the world. Also,
If we're
Like-
talking about, yeah, that's true.
I would say if Darnold's not working out, it's because Kenny Walker just had a game.
True.
Yeah, I can get behind Kenny Walker more than I can get behind Singletary.
Agree.
I would actually agree there as well. So I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
Yeah.
I might
I'll
be
add
able to
another
get-
name down here for an if scenario. Like if James Cook doesn't play with that ankle injury, then I think it's a Ray Davis week versus a Ty Johnson week.
It might be a don't play any of those turds week.
Maybe. I don't know. Dolphins defense is tough.
What
Very
about
rough.
what about Jennings? Like I said, this guy got 11 carries in target last week. That's almost as much work as Henderson.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Race bait.
there's something up in New England with Henderson and the coaching staff not giving him the run. There's something up there. I don't know if it's because he held out in the preseason and they had contract issues, but I don't know what it is, honestly, and it's just weird. It really is.
Here's my question.
I'm sorry, but GC Samurai came up with a pretty elite comment right there. I got to point it out and shout out to GC for that one. That's really good.
Oh my gosh.
I had to call Tyrone.
The only other guy to just throw out there, and this will be it for me. Kamara's questionable, hasn't really practiced, been limited. Is Devin Neal in play if Kamara doesn't play here at what I think he's got to be Stoneman, right? Close.
He's
You know
4K,
something?
right?
4,400. Yes.
Kamara would have to not play first
Weirdly,
and foremost.
Here's what's weird about this, though. Even if Kamara was priced all the way down to 4,400, I wouldn't be interested in playing him. But somehow, if Devin Neal, who we don't even know if he's talented at all, plays at 4,400, I'm like, yeah, I'm on it. Why? Why do I think this way?
Why do you think that way?
I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, even if Kamara is 4,500, fuck that guy. But if it was Devin Neal, at least he's unknown. At least it's a mystery.
At least he's a rookie.
The thing you don't see. Are you the type, Kevin, where you would take the prize behind the curtain every time?
100% of the time. That is the most lock button thing ever. I'm a gambler, man. I take chances. I'm risking it. I wish one of those YouTubers would come up to me and say, you want what's in the box or you want this $20? It's always take the box. With my luck, though, it's not Mr. Beast. It's like some other broke-ass YouTuber. It's just a turd in the box. All right. That's how it would go. All right. Moving on to the wide receiver position in NFL Week 10. But real quick, I just want to mention Sharp app, guys. The ARB tool is crazy. Goose 0556. Let's see. Here we go. ARB tool works. All live ARBs in par. So started with the Sharp app arbitrage tool for the month of October. The guy made $6,100 all live ARBing, threw in some parlays just for account health, which is an important thing to do. $1,500. This guy started with $1,500 balance, just used 4 different sports books, and he churned out $6,000 in profit in the first month using the Sharp app arbitrage tool. Sharp app builds tools to help bettors put their money in advantageous positions, whether it's the Proptimizer or, of course, the arbitrage tool where you always win. The AI prediction model, all of it's designed to put your money in advantageous positions. But all of that aside, we want you to check out, if you're a sports bettor, you've bet on sports before, you've lost some money to the sports, we want to take it back from them. Well, we want you to check out this tool. You go to Sharp app, download the Sharp app, sharp.app on the web or on the iPhone store or on the Android store. The Sharp app is there. Download it. You can get a 7-day free trial using my promo code GEEK or sharp.app/geek when you go get signed up. Check out this tool. I have a bunch of live streams out there and a bunch of videos out there showing exactly how it's done. It takes you a couple days to get used to it. You get used to it in the pre-games, and then you shift over to live in-game stuff, and it is spectacular. You could literally sit down at the computer and lock in a few $100s every day. Goosebird, there it is. You can go to his tracker on Pickett. If you don't believe this is real, go check out at Goosebird on Pickett. But very much important to say, Goosebird used this up $6,000 his first month. That's how it goes. So go check out the Sharp app. Check out the ARB tool. Start taking your money back from the sports books. All right. Wide receivers, NFL Week 10. Let's do a quick sort of ownership and see where the chalk is. Interesting. This is very interesting. Zay Flowers, chalkiest guy on the slate right now. 23% owned. Amon-Ra above Jackson Smith and Jigba and Puka. That should not be the case, but yet here we are. That's happening. So I don't know. Kind of weird. Puka, understandable. Wandale, Khalil Shakir, BobbyWow, you mentioned him before. That is a lot of ownership for K-Shack. Debo Samuel. I think wide receiver is going to be tough. Wide receiver is going to be tough this week, guys. I can't wait to hear the breakdown. So let's get right into it. BobbyWow, I'm going to start with you on this one. Let's go studs and duds as we usually do. Whatever you could see on the screen here. So stud group. It's really, to me, the stud group is going to be Puka, JSN, Amon-Ra, and I'll throw in Jefferson and Emeka Egbuka into that mix. I left Devontae Adams out. Not crazy about it. And I don't think I am going anywhere near Nico Collins with Davis Mills at quarterback. So with that being said, BobbyWow, do you have a preference here? Who's your go-to?
Oh, man. Yeah. I think if I'm taking two of these guys, it's going to be Puka and Amon-Ra. We saw, we saw the Cardinals do a nice job of limiting JSN. And I'm going to my strategy is going to be say that wasn't just an entire fluke. It wasn't just a day of the week thing. And it wasn't, 100% a fluke necessarily. Not saying you can't do it. Certainly can, but that's kind of the way I'm playing. I'm always looking for reasons to fade somebody who's going to be chalky. I think you got to fade at least one of these guys up here, if not more. So to me, if I'm fading anyone, it's JSN, and I kind of like going to Puka here. And I think this week is Amon-Ra's week. I hate swallowing Amon-Ra chalk, but man, he looked better last week. This matchup is pristine for him, and he's kind of been waiting for a breakout week. It's been some time now, so I like Amon-Ra maybe the most of anyone.
Wow.
Whew.
All right. That is surprising. Definitely a little different from my approach, but that explains why Amon-Ra is so highly owned, because I was really surprised. I thought for sure Puka and JSN would be the clear-cut top dogs, and that everybody else is kind of secondary. So really interesting to see this approach. Josiah, how about you?
Yeah, I didn't think Bob was going to be so high on Amon-Ra, but
Yeah.
I don't see things too differently. Puka's my option number one, and then Amon-Ra. Those are two guys I'm over the field on. And then JSN, who I think we all still love. I'm just matching the field on. I wasn't able to get over on him.
Yep.
Burns?
And then I'll also add with Devontae Adams, I'm not playing him outside of my Stafford lineups, but I'm not afraid of having Adams exposure in those Stafford lines.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, with Stafford, all good. But I'm just really on a standalone play. I also think Puka could get hurt. Like, Puka is a risk to get hurt.
He gets hurt every game.
Yeah, he just gets hurt in game, and that is a real risk with him. So, Devontae Adams could pull a Colston Loveland from last week, start slow, or a Devontae Adams from last week, if we're being fair. Didn't really do anything. Puka comes out of the game, and Devontae Adams finds his way to 2 touchdowns because he's Devontae Adams, and Puka was out. Burns, how about you?
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm not so as high on Puka with these top 3 guys as Bobby and Josiah are, because Puka has the ability to get knocked out of the game, and we've seen it not just once this year. We've seen it a couple of times. So that's why he's like my number 3 out of these 3 guys. Amon-Ra is my second, and then JSN is my first. JSN is going to see a lot of cover 4. He's going to see a lot of cover 3. Against cover 4 this year, he's absolutely crushed. I mean, we're talking about a guy that's probably the best against any coverage scheme. He produces 8.25 yards per route ran in cover 4. And he's going to see as much cover 4 as cover 3 this week. And that's incredible. Like, those numbers are high. And he's 1.37 fantasy points per route in cover 4. That's incredible. Like, he's in a different stratosphere this year. And that's really why he's my number 1. Like, against the coverage, that's really how I discern between the top 3 guys, right? Like, they're all equally awesome in their own right as a receiver, but to nitpick each one, I have to look at them in coverages. And JSN in coverage that he's going up against this week is better than the other 2. So that's really why he's my number 1 from these 3.
Nathan's asking if it's a standalone play or just stacked with Goff. I'm going to assume we're talking standalone plays here.
Oh, I would use ASRB in any lineup, whether it be single entry, MME, as a standalone play. He's that good.
Agreed.
Yeah, the Sun God. I'm a little surprised. I had it. My order is Puka, JSN, Amon-Ra in that order. So, whatever. They're all awesome stud plays. Everybody's great. Puka needs to stay healthy. I think if Puka stays healthy throughout the full game, he's going to outscore. He's going to have a great game because he always does. And JSN, outside of that one Thursday nighter against this particular team, has been unstoppable for the most part all season long. I'm not betting against it. And then Amon-Ra, of all the 3, Amon-Ra has that sneaky upside, but also the floor a little lower. This could be one of those games, like I said, slow, Gibbs. And there's a lot of ways that this game can turn out that I don't see that pathway for like the Rams not throwing to Puka. I don't know how the game, Puka healthy, gets 10 plus targets in this game every single time. Scrolling down a little bit, Emeka Egbuka is also really good, a really good spot. He's the only healthy body left for the Bucks, so I don't mind that. And he starts a tier that's so gross, it's really almost impossible to play anybody for the next $1,000. Look at this. So,
Waddle's
Waddle's right there.
Waddle's a pretty solid play.
Is
to
it?
me.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think he is. I will say yes. He is a solid play. I think that ownership is too low on Waddle. I have no issue going tripling that at least at 15%.
He has a really good. He has a good rating, right? The rating of 90 is very strong there, for what that's worth.
Yeah, solid prop too.
Prop is it's pretty good, 14.5. So you know what? He props really a lot better than most. Look who's popping the most though. Jeez. Zay Flowers with the 15.7. I get why he's chalky. My goodness gracious.
Well, he's chalky because the prop projection is almost 18 points.
No, the regular projection is, and even the prop one though is very high. Why he's projected so much stronger than everybody else in the salary range? It's brutal.
Yeah, it's weird because the Vikings actually had a really good they had a really good defensive scheme last week, and it took me by surprise. But they shut down. Other than Amon-Ra, they kind of, and J-Mo had his touchdown, and so he got it that way. But in reality, I mean, it was just Amon-Ra and Laporta basically in that game. So,
and the Vikings are a top 10 pass defense in terms of yards allowed per game. They've got a pretty dang good scheme. And I little concerned for Zay the chalk, but he's cheap too. That's the other thing. His price tag's below 6K again, so that's part of why he's so chalky, I think.
Yeah, Flores is a great DC, but Lamar and that Ravens team, when they're clicking, they hit different. So it's a scary.
Yeah, exactly. That's true too. Lamar's just a stud. He really is.
I would throw a counter that Zay Flowers chalk is almost always bad chalk.
That's probably not
More
wrong.
often than not, yeah.
Not a consistent scorer. He's not a consistent guy to get more than 5 or 6 targets in a game. I don't care what the game is doing. So, and we definitely need some salary relief this week. You're gonna see. What about Odunze? Let's talk about Odunze and going back to it off the zero, off the freaking donut. Can we stomach it?
Yeah. I'm not overly concerned about like a couple bad weeks. I think that's just kind of the receiver Rome is. Like, he's very boom or bust. But Bobby, you know better than a lot of us. Are you worried about Rome this week? I'm comfortable going back.
I think my greatest concern with Rome is just the way that the Chicago Bears offense is structured. I think, we saw a big boom from Rome early on in the season, which can happen, but this Chicago offense is built around the idea of spreading the football around. Rome is not Amon-Ra St. Brown from Detroit. Ben Johnson does not have an Amon-Ra in this offense. And so I think what we're seeing here isn't Rome necessarily being bad. I think it's just the Bears offense is performing at its best in Ben Johnson's eyes when they're spreading the football around. Yeah. So now Rome is absolutely due some positive regression here. I think Rome is the guy, the primary guy to stack with Caleb. That doesn't change for me. I just think we need to just understand that the Bears offense spreads the football like no other offense in the league. That is like the goal. That's how they're achieving brilliance in Ben Johnson's eyes. So that is really the primary concern for me, is that he's not a guy that's going to get 10, 11, 12 targets a week like some of the other guys up here are.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds gross, but I would just much rather pay for Debo. That's why I don't have as much Rome.
That's gross.
Sounds
but
gross.
Rome is gross too. They're all gross here. Let's stick with the theme of these lower cost wide receivers, the 6K and under group. BobbyWow, let's stick with you here. Obviously, Zay Flowers chalk. Josiah just mentioned Debo. That's my right punk. But Mariota. Ugh.
I love Debo. Debo might be my favorite in this group.
Wow.
I love Debo here.
What is happening here? All right.
Can you tell us why you don't like Debo at 5,600?
So unexciting. He's not looked healthy. I'm seeing a lot of 5s and 4s and 8s, and I don't know.
He hasn't been healthy. You're right, but I think he's had a chance to rest now. To me, I think this might be as healthy as Debo's been.
Yeah, but it's also Mariota. Mario turd.
Go back to some of those bigger scores. Who were they with?
I don't know. Were they with Mariota, the 23 and the 20? Let's see. What weeks did Mariota play? 5 and 4?
To be honest, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Week
4. He did play week 4. Okay. He played week 4. And in that game, let's see. Debo in week 4, 20, 6 for 7. All right, there you have it.
Yeah.
There's evidence that it can be done. I like the price point, 5,600. Don't need to do that much. There's no other wide receivers really to throw to. So
That's the other thing. There's nobody there. It's Debo.
Yeah, I'm not in love with it, but I'll accept it. But really, I'm not in love with anything here. So let's keep going here in this group, because this is where, if we could get this zone figured out, I think you're going to do really well this week, right? Zay Flowers chalk, like you said, there's Debo. DJ Moore coming off the big week, but I don't know. It was so.
How can you not like Wandale here? Wandale against the Bears secondary.
Yeah,
just as good as it gets to me.
Wait. As you mentioned, Wandale.
No. It's Jackson Dart. You chose Jackson Dart.
That's for Wandale too. I get excited to have a new little clip to play.
Got a toy.
Wandale, very good, BobbyWow. Yeah, absolutely. 11 targets last week, 13 fantasy points. I don't even know how you do that. The math of that is really weird.
That's Olave. It's Olave week for him.
He has Olave level targets and receptions.
Yeah, and it looks like MHJ's popping too from a prop projection perspective.
Yeah, weirdly, Stephon Diggs is also, man. Can we trust Diggs with booty out? Is Diggs now a reasonable risk with no booty?
You can never trust Diggs. Is he a reasonable risk? Is the better question. Maybe.
You can't trust Diggs around booty.
Literally. He has like 4 kids coming.
Yeah.
Sweet Lord.
See how I
good.
I brought it all together. But
look at your prop god, Rashid Shaheed, the savior down there. What's going on with his prop, guys? They must have it wrong.
That is the overbet of a lifetime.
They don't know Horton's out yet. That's what it is.
Holy Lord.
No,
they don't know Horton's out.
Stupid idiots.
I think Marvin Harrison Jr. has to be played.
Yep.
Has to be played. To be played.
He'll definitely be
be played.
In every lineup, BobbyWow. I'm saying I got to get some exposure at 5,200 or 5,300 to a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr., the number 1 wide receiver. He's got the brisket throwing him the ball. I mean, you got to play some of that. He got 10 targets last week. The guy is much better off with Brissett in there than he ever was with Kyler Murray. I wish I had Tywin Lannister right now saying "You're not my son" as a little video clip for next time, saying it to as if it was Marvin Harrison Sr. saying it to his son after he dropped all those passes in that one game.
Marvin Harrison had the matchup of a lifetime last week and squeaked by. He ended up catching a touchdown and hitting value against the Cowgirls. Before that, he's had 8 total catches in the previous 3 weeks combined with your savior Brissett under center. Like this is not a must play for me. Come on.
Which games did Brissett play?
He's had to start of the last couple.
Let's compare. Hold on.
He started the last 3, right?
He's played the last 3, and these 2 were part of the Brissett magic. All right, so let's see here. Brissett week 6, 7, and 8.
I'm just saying, Seattle secondary is actually pretty dang good. They're young. They've got they're really studly weapons. Dallas is one of the worst secondaries in the league, arguably the worst.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. Brissett did not throw to him up until this past week, so that's fair.
I'm just saying he's not a must play for me. That's all. He's play him. He's a GPP option, I guess, but not a must play.
Wandale 11 targets. I mean, it's not exciting down here. It gets grosser as you scroll down. So we need to find names in this group, or you can't make a lineup. It's that simple. You need to have these pay downs. So far we've identified. What is everybody's thoughts on Diggs other than the booty? He's into the no booty or whatever. Do we like Diggs here? I mean, he's got a pretty good prop. I don't know. I haven't been playing Diggs at all, but I mean, he's got a 14. That's not too bad.
I think you're playing Diggs for his upside. You accepting that he probably, his floor is low, below 5 easily. He could easily get you 2 or 3, but
I'm in love with it. I mean, outside of like a Drake May lineup, I gotta play him in Drake May lineup, I guess, but I'm not sure I want to stand alone it. Debo, fine, whatevs. Right, DJ Moore, I think, was very gimmicky last week, throwing for touchdowns, running. He wasn't doing. I think it was a little gimmicky, but I guess whatever. Go right back.
That's how they're gonna use him, though. So that's
what they do.
DJ,
they give DJ the ball. Ben Johnson, whether it's coming out of the backfield or not, it hasn't always, meant touchdowns, but they're finding ways to give DJ the ball, plain and simple. So he's going to be involved.
Yeah. Swaggy P got that Pop Douglas mention in there. Like it. Rashid Shaheed, new team, but has a role. If we like Darnold, I think that could be a part of it.
That's my
Talk
favorite
about winning
one.
millions. Look at that.
That's my favorite
Less
one.
than 1%.
Josiah, that's your guy?
That's my guy. I love that play.
You do love Rashid Shaheed, though. You've always loved Rashid Shaheed.
No, Raz, one of the coaches here at DFS Army, he's the one who got me on him with the Saints. But then this year, just seeing how they've used him in so many different ways, and assuming that's part of why Seattle was excited about adding him to the group, I'm excited to see what they do. This offense has been incredible this year.
Yeah, but he's got to learn how to route run and zone much better than he has, because he's been a great man guy, but in New Orleans, his zone route running was awful. So that's kind of why I'm like, we'll pump the brakes. This is a heavy zone defense they're going up against. I'm pumping the brakes on him.
Yeah. Shaheed's skill set is running fast and tracking down the ball. He's Marvin. He's a better version of all of these names that we've seen all these years that sometimes pop off. Who's the guy that's on every team? He's on Miami now, not Westbrook Akine, but he used to be on the Chiefs for a few years, and he always sucked.
Oh, is it that
Marquez Valdez-Scantling, MVS?
Guy.
It's the classic MVS situation, except this guy does it. He's a little bit better at actually tracking and catching the football compared to MVS, who's just fast and then is dropping half of them, or was.
There's a guy that I like down a little bit lower.
Well, let's get into the next group here. We already kind of talked about who we like up top or in the middle zone. Burns, take me to the cheap guys. Where are you going? J-Mo Williams, you mentioned before?
Yeah, I'm going to obviously run the golf lineups out, and I want to have J-Mo in them. He's too cheap. I mean, at 4,800. But a guy that I'm going to have ownership in this week is Tez Johnson. He actually really projects out against the scheme that he's going up against. And he props out pretty well too. I mean, he's propping out pretty decently. So let me see what I wrote up on him, because I actually have him. Give me 1 sec. I'll get to him. He's going up against a man coverage, cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. So he's going to have he's going to have an equal coverage across the entire spectrum of coverages. And actually he does really well in cover 2 and cover 3. And that's where he's going to see a bulk of it. And I could actually see him getting some decent run in this game. I could see where he could get like 6 targets, 4 catches, I don't know what the yardage could be, maybe 60. And he could cross the goal line. So that is actually a decent game for him. I gravitate to Emeka first, but this is my number 2 in that receiving core for Tampa Bay if I'm running out Baker Mayfield lineups, which I will.
Any other pay downs that are popping for you that kind of, I'm looking through the ownerships. I'm not really seeing any like ownership spikes anywhere here.
Yeah. We kind of listed them out. Another guy I think you have to have in dart lineups outside of Wan'Dale Robinson is Darius Slayton, because he can obviously take the top off of a defense. He's going to be really low owned. He's going to be less than 6% owned. And I think that's pretty much all you need him in lineups, is about 5-6%. But he has yet to do the taking the top off, but it could happen at any time. So
it's coming with him. He got 5 targets last week as well. He just needs to connect. But it's waiting. It's absolutely waiting to happen. I like Slayton as well.
Yeah.
Just
like
here.
There's no coverage with the best of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Josiah, any cheapies popping for you this week? Sub 5K?
There's one. I've mentioned this name now many times. Jalen Coker. He has not come through for us yet.
Boy.
But T-Mac, he's questionable. Tedera McMillan. If he misses this game, this is Jalen Coker's spot and time to shine. Also, all week, the coaching staff has really been hyping up Jalen Coker, saying they have to get him more involved as part of the reason why they've been struggling. This team, they're a run-first team, so you don't really want to get too cute with a lot of these pass catchers, but at 3,300, I'm going to take some shots here.
Okay.
What about Leggett? Any Leggett love?
If T-Mac plays, yeah, Leggett's fine. He's been so much better the last few weeks. If T-Mac plays, I get a little bit more worried about Coker because they've been using Leggett a lot more over the last few weeks.
How about you, Bobby Wow? Any pay down options that you got any go-to guys down here?
The only other guy I'll mention, he burned me last week, but I'm going to go back to him again just because I'll have some Josh Allen, is Keon Coleman. I think he's worth a couple. He's cheap enough. He's so bad right now, so you got to anticipate, he could bust your lineup, but throwing him in a lineup with Josh Allen or two is not the worst thing you could do either. So
yeah,
I'll have some Coleman.
Weirdly, one of the best projecting pay down options is Parker Washington. 11.1 fantasy points.
Can we go back to this? Did DJ Moore or Parker Washington last week? I'm just curious. Who ended up shining brighter?
Barely DJ Moore. Parker Washington had a good game too.
Did Parker Washington throw for a touchdown?
No, but I mean, they didn't give him the chance, but he still scored 17. He didn't have to throw for a touchdown. I would say that Parker Washington was better than DJ Moore last week, except for the fact that DJ Moore played quarterback for a couple plays.
DJ scored 23 fantasy points.
But six
in
of
what
them,
world is Parker Washington better?
He got 17. Look at all these targets. 9 targets, 8 receptions. How many receptions did DJ Moore have? 5?
You're right. Washington was better.
Who was better? No. They were both good last week. Listen, what's wrong with that? What, does everybody have to be wrong? Did we argue over Washington versus DJ Moore last week that I don't recall? Are you recalling?
Yes, that was a thing. Yes. Okay. That was a kerfuffle. That happened. That was
yes.
And I just, you know what? I'm a man. I'm calling back to it. Okay?
I feel like yes to Ashley, by the way, here. We need a female in here to break up the testosterone situation that's happening here.
Of course, Geek's wrong. Now it's a testosterone situation here.
How's it wrong? What? Kevin said to play Parker Washington at 3,700 versus your $5,200 DJ Moore play, and Parker puts up 17.
You told me you liked him more. That's all. You liked him more.
Yeah, and 37. Did we not acknowledge that he was 3,700?
Give me more.
What was the price of Moore last week, Bobby Wow?
Give me more of Moore because he was better.
What was the salary of Moore last week?
Look, 52. We didn't discuss. This wasn't part of the argument. The argument was who's going to score more points. I told you DJ Moore would, and he did. Plain and simple.
5,200 for DJ Moore, 3,700 for Parker Washington.
Well, see, now we're gonna get into the little minute details that weren't part of it, right, Josiah?
So you ever see that meme? I don't know. All right, sorry. Doing that move just actually fucked up my neck. Now I need a heating pad. It's great.
What do they call those hot water things? Get him a hot water bottle.
So I'm gonna have to plug in the old heating pad right as soon as this is done. My neck does not now turn beyond here. All right, great. All right, Parker Washington, though, this week is much more expensive and taking on Houston. I don't like it as much. I don't like it.
They jacked his salary up $1,000.
Yeah, I don't like it. And against you, I don't play anybody against Houston. Yeah. I have like certain rules now. Unless it's Dart, we don't play anybody against Denver either. Only Dart. And then Houston, stop playing people against them. It's always a shitstorm. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it, Bobby Wow.
I'm waiting for your Juwan Jennings love to hit.
Yeah, no, I do like Juwan. I was going to say Juwan and Kendrick Bourne in play here. Both of them. Is the 49ers not going to score? They're at home. They're not on the road. They're not at the Rams. They're at home.
What point do we drop the Kendrick Bourne bit? Because look, Juwan Jennings, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now that he's back, I think we drop Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah.
I'm not
no
ready
more Bourne. He's gone.
No, I'm not ready to drop it. But you're probably right.
Okay.
You're probably right.
Jennings, CMC, everyone's involved besides Bourne.
Jizu is literally like in my house, knowing exactly, like in my brain. Get out of my brain. Knows exactly what's about to happen as soon as the show ends. All right. Get out of my brain, Jizu.
Just
That's how I read it.
Jozu, right? It's
Jozu.
Jozu.
I don't know.
Jizu.
Get out of there. All right, let's shift gears to the tight end group, guys. And as we shift gears, it's always a reminder. If you're enjoying the show, first of all, we want to hear your comments. I love the chat live. If you're watching this on replay, you can hit those in the comments as well. Who's your favorite QB wide receiver combination this week? We always want to hear it. And of course, we ask that you kindly like and subscribe and notification bell and all that good shit. All right. And of course, 10% any, yeah, there it is, Brady with it. And of course, if you want to check out DFS Army, get signed up for VIP, everything we do, 10% off, promo code Geek. DFSArmy.com. You get one of these hats too, only after you win a big tournament.
Geek sprinkles up some salt on his picanha steaks.
You know something, BobbyWow?
Look what you did.
Not a big fan of the picanha. Not a big fan of the picanha.
I thought you hadn't had it yet.
No.
We talked like 2 weeks ago. You hadn't had it yet.
I've seen it, and it has a big chunk of fat on it, and I don't like fat. I don't like it. It's got a giant fat cap on it, and I don't want to eat that. Why wouldn't you take the fat off?
He hasn't even tried it, guys.
No, I don't like fat. I don't eat it. I cut that shit off my steak, bro. It's not just the fat that I don't like on steak. Now that we're talking about it, if I ever even get a piece of a ligament in my chicken, I have to stop eating it. It ends it for me. Like, you know how that sometimes on the chunky and the fat part, there's a ligament in there.
Yeah.
If I get that, I now cannot eat anymore.
I just like that your argument was immediately against the fat and not against the Epsom salts.
No, I was thinking the Epsom salt. I'm thinking like that dude who does the salting, Salt Bay. I was like, Epsom salt bay up my shit. I don't mind some chunky salt.
Chunky salt, yes. Chunky fat, no, though, apparently.
Kosher salt, a little salt flake on my steak. I'm cool with that. But no fat cap. I don't like the fat. I cut it off. I do see people who eat the fat and love it on the steak. By the way, I'm not criticizing that. I get it. So like some people love that, and that's cool.
My ribeyes are so good.
Yeah, understandable. I'm cutting off the fat. I don't like to eat that part of it. Not for any reason of health. I just don't like it. Yeah, Grim says flavor. Listen, rip on me. I just don't like the texture in my mouth. It's all mushy.
It's different.
I also don't like dark meat chicken. I'm weird, dude. You want to get into my food eating habits? We can talk for an hour.
We don't have that time, though.
Yeah, I can't take dark meat chicken either. It's too greasy. All right, let's talk about tight ends. It's all like fatty grizzle in there. I don't like it.
Too greasy.
That's like grizzly. Tight end position, NFL Week 10, gentlemen. Trey McBride at the top of the list, both at ownership and at price. And then we get a big drop in price down to 4,500. George Kittle. I like Kittle. I always like Kittle, but I don't think we've seen the best of Kittle with Mac Jones at QB yet. We haven't seen the best version of him. I was hoping that it would be Brock Purdy this week and we'd get the better game. Laporta, Andrews, Hunter Henry. This is the ownership group, guys. Cade Otton is spiking. No one knows who to play at tight end this week. That's what's happening. Let's get real. What the fuck is going on? No one knows who to play. This is a tough one. Let's take a look at the props for each guy. Yeah, Kittle's propping out really well, dude. That's a good prop for Georgie right there. Of course, Trey McBride, always very playable. Sam Laporta. Cade Otton. Whoa, look at that projection.
Anytime they got their receivers out, Cade Otton becomes a stud.
Yeah.
Every time.
Every time.
A stud. He does do better. But Igbuka's in. They're not all.
It's only one, though. Anytime you get two of the guys out, which
it is just one. It is just one.
Evans.
Yeah. Hawkinson, interesting, right? So let's just get into it. Let's dive right in. Burns, I'm starting with you this time. You are the tight end whisperer.
Yeah.
Love a tight end. like a booty. Keyshawn booty guy. So Trey McBride, George Kittle. Let's talk about the chalky sort of pay up options here. Is there anybody that stands out from the Shark Lab perspective on the metrics?
Yeah, I mean, across the entire spectrum of the tight ends, there's a good number. But at top here, I'll just stick to the top because that's where we're gonna start at. Trey McBride, 6K, completely fine, but he does a lot. He's great. You're going to get a lot of targets. You're going to get yardage. He's still got to cross the goal line for him to pay off this 6K. That's $1,500 over the next guy. But he's a great play week in and week out. But you got to pay a lot for him, and he really does damage to your lineups from a salary perspective in that realm. But he's a great play. I got to look at Kittle. He may be in play for me, but there are a couple of things I was looking at earlier, and I'm like, maybe. But he is at home, and he loves himself some home matchups. So I might be going back right to him. So Laporta, I'm off. I'm off of Laporta this week. I was all over him last week. He's a home or away favored tight end, and guess what? They're not getting it done this year at all in Millie Maker lineups. And
no away favored quarterbacks, no away favored tight ends. People, write it down.
They're not getting it done this year. So I'm off of Laporta. Similarly for Andrews, I'm off of the Andrews. But guys I'll be going to Hunter Henry, Kate Otten, TJ Hawk. Absolutely. I'll be going right back to I said his name earlier. I don't know if he's in play because of the fact that his health status is still up in the air. Is AJ Barner. He can be used in stacks with Darnold, but if he does play, he is in play. And then other guys, Mason Taylor is in play for me. Dalton Schultz is in play for me this week. And Theo Johnson is also in play for me as well. So, yeah.
Tight end is going to be really important, guys. In my first read of the slate, this was a double tight end slate. Not from the perspective of I have so many tight ends that I'm obsessed with, but rather you really do need a second really cheap option. We don't have a salary saver running back that's a lock button at all. So, and you saw the wide receiver group, like we're grasping at straws under 5K and even over 5K, but certainly under 5K, it feels like we're grasping at straws. And as E-Week 2K might be right. 4,500. George Kittle may be the best points per dollar type of guy on the slate. So I think it might be a double tight end week. We'll have to see.
I'm 100% with you. Double tight end. Yeah, it's a double tight end week.
That's what I'm thinking it. I mean, as I handcrafted some lineups earlier, that's what I was getting. So, Bobby, I'm not up to you yet. Let's go, Josiah. Give me a couple of tight ends that are popping for you. We'll get to you, BobbyWow, and I want to hear all about Loveland.
No, I mean, once we get to the tight end position, that's really when I just start to kind of let Burns and the DS kind of serenade me a little bit in the right direction. Unless there's someone that's like really, really standing out. I guess the one call out is, and someone mentioned in the chat already too, is if Fannin is out, I have some interest in Njoku just because I like picking on the Jets defense. But I'm on a lot of these calls. I have a ton of K Dot and I have a decent amount of Kincaid as well. Those are two guys that I'm making sure I have leverage on.
Yeah, the usual suspects. BobbyWow, how about you?
I love Cade Otton. He's a phenomenal play. George Kittle's too cheap. Talking about McBride, he's better than any 6K wide receiver. His floor is higher. Ceiling might be just high. Him and Rome are up there with each other ceiling wise. Man, McBride with Brissett under center has been a new revelation. Much really even better than Harrison. He's been so good.
Yeah.
One guy that has been mentioned, Zach Ertz, I think is definitely in play. He's even cheaper on FanDuel relative to these other guys. He's a better play on FanDuel, I think, but 4K still fine on DraftKings as well. I think just about everyone that's been mentioned, I will have some of. One, silly for the Millie. Let me give you a silly for the Millie call here. Greg Dulcich for the Miami Dolphins.
Jesus.
Silly for the Millie. Had 4 or 5 targets last week. Min price. Everyone is hurt at tight end for the Dolphins again this week. We know Tua's going there. Look, it's horrible. It's silly for the Millie. But at min price, punt, we're playing 2 tight ends. I'm just saying. Could be an
5
option.
targets last week.
Yeah, he was fine. He looks like the next guy. Like, hey, it's Miami. B, they don't have a second wide receiver outside of Waddle, who's not a touchdown scorer. C, that same team rolled out the ghost of Darren Waller, a literal creaky, slow, injured, awkward guy. And he's catching touchdowns like he's going out of style. Like he's got more touchdowns this year than the Jets generic Jets TE has had this century. Because the Jets suck. It's
your response was off the chain though. It was like, Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, oh, do I have to go there? But you know what? Yeah, you probably do. Like he was a showdown turd. Do we really have to play him on a main slate, Bobby?
No, you don't. You don't have to play him at all. You do not have to play him at
Yeah.
all. But I'm just saying, if you want to punt if you want a min price punt, he's probably the guy this week. One other guy to mention quick that Burnsy already did is Hunter Henry at 3,500. I don't think anybody has better upside relative to their salary than Hunter Henry. We saw him finally get a little more involved again last week. He's the secret sauce for New England. I think he's the upside, potential, Millie winner in terms of ceiling.
I love that call.
Yeah.
Listen, Hunter Henry never does it when you're thinking he's going to do it. It always comes out of nowhere. This is an out of nowhere spot. You get chalk Hunter Henry, you better run for the hills. But non-chalky Hunter Henry in one of the games that we kind of like this week, but like no one could figure out how to play Drake May because who the hell you stack him with? Well, Drake and
3,500. My gosh.
Fine with
and
it.
Jozu Dulcich is from Denver. Yes, that's the only reason I like him a little bit. He had some big games there for the Broncos. He's got some chops.
I'll throw some other names out there, guys. And I see a lot of people grasping like a little too deeply at straws for tight ends. Stop doing that. If you're watching this, like, don't do that. Play these names that are decent, right? So how about if Barner is out, Elijah Arroyo at 2,600, super the min salary.
Yeah, 2,800.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he's actually caught touchdown passes this year. So it's not like he's, a shot like, dartboard throw. He's actually getting run. So
No, he's been good. Yeah, I don't understand why he's that cheap. And I totally agree. If Fannin is out, I'm not playing Fannin or Njoku if they're both in. But if Fannin is out, we go right to Njoku, right back to it. Sure, why not? Even Dylan Gabriel can throw it to the tight end. He can do that.
that's about all he can throw to.
Yeah, I mean that's who he's probably going to throw to. And then I'd add in, aside from agreeing with everybody that was mentioned before, I think TJ Hawkinson stays in my mix at 3,300 as well. He's popped with that team, and Theo with Dart. It's really just a stack more than anything. I don't like to talk as much about. Mateo, I'm not going. This might be too much. With Shook in there, what's the price? Let me see. Actually, let's see what
37. He's 37.
He did okay last week, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what he always does. Is okay.
Yeah. He Josh Johnson. No, what you want?
He's 37.
Yeah, there it is. So he's 4 target. I don't know. I'm not down with anybody connected to Tyler Shook if I'm being real. That dude is absolute garbage. Even against the Panthers. I like Panthers defense. Speaking of defense, let's shift gear and finish this off with our defenses for NFL Week 10 here. Burns, you always have the defense on lockdown. So I will just suggest that I mentioned Panthers. I think they're playable. And I think the cheapest viable defense this week is probably the Jaguars against Davis Mills and crew. So that's as far as I got. And then I think Browns and Jets are viable. But Burns, take me through your defense choices. You always crush this area.
Yeah, I mean, Carolina is probably the pay up where you're like, yes, button click. Another one of the pay down options that's probably going to be a button click this week is Cleveland. A lot of people are going to be button clicking Cleveland at that 2,900 mark.
Yeah.
Viable. But if you can't, There are a couple other plays. Seattle at home, always in play. They're a tough defense. Another play on the road, the Rams. I think the Rams are also in play here. Let's see. Jacksonville on the road is in play, but on the other side of the ball, I also like, and I'm not big on underdogs, but this is the only underdog that I would actually play on the entire slate is Houston, because they are home, they're an underdog, and they're actually a really good defense. Just not from a fantasy perspective, but just an actual NFL defense. They're good. So that's the only reason why I would have them in my player pool as an underdog.
Yeah, it's a 0.5-point spread too, so it's close.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of options this week. Not like we don't always get that many options. I think there's a lot of options on defense this week. Yeah, all the way up. So just spitting them out here. I'd be like cheapest maybe is probably the Jaguars. Jets, Cleveland, fine. Houston against Jacksonville, acceptable. Good team. Jacksonville, not that good. I like your call on the Rams, Burns. I wasn't thinking of it.
And you can add Baltimore in there too. I mean, Baltimore's a tough.
Yeah,
they're starting to get, like we said earlier in the show, they're starting to get healthy again. It could actually be an under the radar play where, it's like 3,300. Not many button clickers are going to go to that.
Dude, it's so sneaky. I love it.
Baltimore is the defense du jour on
Yeah.
FanDuel. They are 3,200. Play Baltimore on FanDuel, please.
Just for
I think they're good. They'll be really owned on FanDuel though.
but rightfully, but
Right
but
now.
for those who don't play FanDuel, 3,200 is like stone min. It's like a
It's
2K.
basically mint. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a 2K defense on DraftKings. So yeah, load up on that on FanDuel for sure. DraftKings here, maybe if I play it on FanDuel, maybe I won't play it on DraftKings as much. I'd rather just play it at the place where I can get the better price.
Mhm.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up there. NFL Week 10 tournament tactics in the books. Remember, I will be back tomorrow at noon with DFS Army subscribers, DFS Army VIPs, and the pro subscribers here on the YouTube channel. Players Club is where we handcraft lineups for multipliers. We talk bankroll management. We build profitable lineups using profitable approaches. Guys, I just want to mention this. I saw a beautiful screenshot. I wish I had it here. I brought it here, but somebody playing last night's one of the subs in my channel playing last night's showdown, and it's like beautiful screenshot of just the multipliers and put the super boosters primarily. So the 40x, 27 turned into $1,000. He hit 3 of them in one screenshot, which is like, dude, that's crazy good. But what I was most impressed by was just how the discussion of bankroll management and proper contest selection has like made its way out there to the point where now I'm seeing not even on the main slate showdowns, guys are doing the same approach, same technique. It wins, it wins, it wins. You want to be focused on 25, 40x multipliers, 10x multipliers. That's where your DFS play should be concentrated. Only if you want to try to be a profitable player. Not everybody plays for that, and I'm cool with that. If not everybody plays for being profitable, they play for winning $50,000, and that's cool too. I totally get it. But if you want to kind of try to level out your stuff week to week and try to be a person that turns a profit, there's no way you could turn a profit every week just attacking milli makers. No one can. I can't do it. No one can. But you can profit frequently if you're attacking multipliers. So I highly advise people doing that. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Thanks to Burns, Josiah, and BobbyWow again for another great, entertaining show. So many ideas. Thanks to Dart for being awesome. Just throwing that out there. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow on the Players Club at noon. Helmets up, everyone.